appreciate everybody joining in and everything. You know, it's a beautiful thing. I appreciate all the love and everything. Glad Prina's here.
Prina.
How you?
Hello. Hi.
So how you feeling today? You looking lovely.
I'm awesome.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rush you or anything like that. Everything cool?
You didn't rush me. I was watching the game, cooking, being domestic and shit.
Wow. And you know what? You were at your prettiest when you were domestic.
Being domestic.
And everything. So, here we go. This is me and Prina. And welcome to another edition of BOREDinDE. Let me turn this around a little bit. I'm so low on desk space. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm Tuck. This is Prina. Welcome to BOREDinDE. Tonight's episode, we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about, dating, love, relationships, and difficulties of being in a small state like DE. So if you want to join part of this podcast, definitely go to BOREDinDE on Facebook. Find this live broadcast and come into the comments, and we can go ahead and get your comments up on the screen and possibly give you some genuine answers. If you want a genuine answer, it's probably going to come from either Prina, Vanity, or G'Jurel, because I'm going to be a dick about it.
Okay.
Because I go Petty Pablo.
Wow, we know he's open. Look at that.
I'm going Petty Pablo.
Open.
I go Petty Pablo and stuff. And let me fix this and stuff. Here we go. Yeah, Van, you must have moved again.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah, you did. No, you moved.
Oh. You told me to move closer, remember?
Yeah, I want you to move closer. Act like you care about him.
Hey, Jen.
There you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. And these are our co-hosts for the night, Vanity and G'Jurel. G'Jurel, you ain't had to give that look like that. Like, yo. Like somebody just ate the big piece of chicken. You just had that look like, this niggas just ate the big piece of chicken.
You ain't got no big pieces of chicken, man.
Nah.
You told me what I was going to be here. There's gonna be
Yeah.
I bought some cornbread.
No, you had a vegan meal. I don't want that shit.
But yeah, Vandy, if you can get, lean closer this way so I don't have half your head and stuff.
You don't mind me kind of close?
No,
You got a girl?
You're kind of cute, though. If it was ugly, he'd have been like...
I do have a girl.
No offense. No, it's TV.
No offense, no
it's
offense.
TV, and P, no problem.
Alright, and what I'm going to do real quick before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and share this post on my personal Facebook page, because it seems like people just don't get it when I say...
Yeah, I'm still in it.
Make sure you're good.
I still want to be like... You feel me?
Wow.
Yo, there's not a song in my head.
Go back to Gloria Stefan.
Yeah, I don't know where that Gloria Stefan came from.
Oh.
That was funny. And you just came right, just like you singing the song and everything, Vandy. Is like, who does that? Who sings that song? Vandy. And she sings it well. She sings it all the time.
In 7 different accents.
Yeah. She sings it all the time.
12 different languages.
So, Prina, I'm glad you took the time out to come out. I know you were doing the whole domesticated thing and everything. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I forget that, you do have responsibilities other than being by my side and stuff. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I got a couple kids, a couple jobs and stuff.
Yeah, you do have a couple kids.
Bills.
Yeah.
Hacienda.
Mm-hmm. And you my favorite bottle girl of all time.
Y'all again with the bullshit. Y'all.
You my favorite bottle girl. Oh my God, man. I'll tell you about the bottle story later. I know I tell the bottle story all the time, but it's my bottle girl.
I have to hear this story.
And I personally hate bottle girls, by the way. That's a whole nother topic. But I really hate them.
So she's basically let me know, like, when the shark infested waters on this one.
You think because you ain't seen a gun that it ain't him. I get it.
But nah, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Relationships in Delaware. Alright. What's your take on it? Let's start with G'Jurel. What's your take on being in relationships in Delaware?
Delaware is a small state, but it's in the middle of a bunch of other places. So a lot of people migrate in. A lot of people. It's not always something to do on a consistent basis. Mm-hmm. So the consistency gets crazy, and then you get from what I hear, I've heard some things that people feel like when they meeting people in Delaware where it gets hard, it's hard to navigate, you know what I mean? Because you wind up bumping into the same people, or people live in their own comfort zone, don't want to grow up and be who they can be. Not that thing.
What about you, Vane?
My take on relationships here. So, I feel like it's comprehensive. It doesn't have to be. With it being so small, I feel like everyone is entangled in everybody else's business, which kind of clouds the judgment of kind of moving forward. A lot of the times people, like, Delaware doesn't have a lot of culture, and the lack of exposure to culture equals usually very low vibrational frequencies at times. So I just feel like if people traveled more, they would vibrate a different level, and therefore their dating would be better.
All right. You got me a little choked up.
I kind of feel like that's any small area where people are used to what they're used to.
Yeah, that's any small area, but Delaware being one of the smallest, I'm in a village, dog. Yeah.
Well, how about you, Prina? What's your take on it?
Well, I can go in so many different directions with this.
Let's pick one and let's go.
Okay, well, I'm going to give a different perspective because I'll be 45 years old this year.
Really?
Yes, I will.
Oh, give it up to you because you look good.
Loving it.
Now, the day over 23.
I'm 35 years old this year. I have been in a 21-year relationship.
That's right.
Met in Delaware. Met when we were teenagers. We're married for 14, and we kept it going for a while. So obviously divorced now, but nonetheless, from my point of view, trying to get back into the whole, which is completely different.
From when you got years ago,
completely different. You know what I mean? Like back then, there was such thing as courting.
Yes.
And he was a gentleman. He was extremely transparent. Like, these are some words that we just don't get to really dive into these days. He was extremely transparent. We dated. It wasn't none of that, well, I want my private life to remain private. All right, there's a difference between privacy and secrecy. And that's another big issue for me, the whole privacy versus secrecy thing. I do not blame social media for a lot of shenanigans. What I do, I blame a lack of self-control. Because there's a whole lot of tools and vehicles out there that can be used inappropriately to do whatever. Cheating has existed long before those dudes started the World Wide Web in the garage.
Oh, wow.
However, it was nowhere near the epidemic that it is. Some of this is just ridiculous.
You think social media just made it easier for people to put the nonsense out there?
It's careless. It's reckless. They meet people in neighboring states. They meet people across the country. They go to meet those people and don't even know that they got a body in a trunk. Like, we get really comfortable on social media. So all that ties into relationships. So I'm not going to go on and on because, we got to talk to some of these folks. But it's a very tangled web. Very tangled web. There's way too many nothing ships.
Nothing ships. Oh, you gotta remember that. Nothing ships.
I already coined that phrase. There's way too many nothing ships running all up and through, especially Delaware. Yeah, not just Delaware, but
I think it's everywhere.
Yeah. Women are cool sharing dudes. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I got my homie Brendan said, Lord, this city is too small.
Yes, it is. Hey, Bren.
And then you got my
Social
boy,
media is the devil.
my boy Andy already like, yo, social media is the devil. He would say it's the devil.
It is, because it's just a platform that people misuse all day, 24 hours a day. People don't get sleep. People lose jobs, lose whole families over social media.
Now, Deidre says Delaware is the only state that I have lived in where people always brag about dating people from other states like Philly, New Jersey, Maryland, LOL and stuff.
It's sad.
Yeah, but those same people, they're the ones that don't go anywhere. The same ones that just be local, just be, to them their ideal vacation is Jamaica. To me, Jamaica's a trip. It's not a vacation.
That's a weekend.
A vacation is something like Italy or, South America or something like that.
But those things expand based on what you've experienced. So now what you know changes what you want to know, right? Your wants change as you get more things, right? If that was your dream can clearly get manipulated and change.
Okay, so you say basically on their limited knowledge, this is to them that's the world.
Yes,
to somebody that's seasoned, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like we could do Jamaica on the weekend. We don't have to do Jamaica. We don't take a week out to do Jamaica. I mean, on the weekend.
Just to give you perspective, there are people who live on a block, born on a block, live their whole life on that same block. Travel is only in a car, don't got an ID, ain't getting no passport.
Okay.
So when you talk about limited experiences in Jamaica, they're happy with Miami, fam. But Miami's a dream. Like, it's just a difference based on what you can experience and what you have. And honestly, even knowing your potential, that part changes a whole lot of mindsets. A lot of people, even to go back to relationships, a lot of people say that they want certain things, but when they get it, they really weren't ready for it. Right? So you wanted that relationship. Cool. You wanted to be settled. That's what you wanted. All right, now deal with that nigga. You don't want to deal with that nigga no more, do you? Okay. Cool. Boom. That thing happens. Right?
Yeah, it's deep. It's a lot deeper. A lot deeper.
That's crazy. My homie says traveling is a spice of life, and I agree because I've always been big on traveling. Like, I got my passport when I was 18, and was going places like my first job actually with a close friend of mine, passed away, Jeff Mayo. We all went to Spain. Like, and I
stayed with Jeff.
And cause we had this one guy that he was like our bilingual coach and everything like that, and he convinced us to go to Spain for like a week. And can you imagine my ass coming from Newcastle in Spain? But it was a beautiful thing. We had a great fucking time.
I'm sure you didn't get arrested, did you?
Nah. And I don't think I got no Spaniard kids over there.
Because that version you might have got arrested or had a kid.
Because that version of me was definitely a little bit wilder. Definitely a lot bit wilder and stuff. But yeah, and I've just always been, fascinated with how other countries live compared to us. And then, when you travel, you really see how petty as Americans we can be.
Yeah.
Like, how really petty, like, yo, dog, we a fucking embarrassment and shit.
Wait, just a quick thought.
Even worse now.
The United States is the entertainment capital of the world, right? That's
right.
Our best export is our music, our movies, our this, or that. Those are our biggest things. So, by trickle down effect, okay, the drama, okay, in the U.S. is just on Front Street.
Okay.
Right? There was a time when we had stills and we did that. We actually exported cars and stuff. Now, what? They try to see that movie. They want to hear that music. That's our biggest export.
They want to see Beyonce.
But wait a minute. The hair entertainments tell it. They get paid overseas.
Yeah, they do. That's what I'm saying. The world loves us
over there. Yeah, they actually keep the entertainment going over there.
Yeah, because I know
they keep the careers going over there.
Absolutely.
Because I know a couple years ago when we went to Japan, I seen Robert De Niro advertising like some pop soda, and I'm like, Robert De Niro advertising soda? But it was like, yo, they pay them huge bucks for that. Like, absolutely. A big ass billboard, like a Manhattan billboard with Robert De Niro advertising soda. I'm like, yo, he would never do no Pepsi shit over here, but it's real big. But, getting back to the whole relationship thing, like, travel's a whole different other creature. But one thing with Delaware and dating and stuff is that I think too many people are cavalier with their effects and who they love and stuff. Like, they just a little too cavalier. Like, that person might be for them that moment, and they give that person the world, then realize that person didn't earn that. So then they come back into the whole mix, and everybody has to suffer because you jumped the gun with the wrong person, and you put too much feelings in the wrong person. Because you know what? I've been guilty of that myself. Like, I'll share a little story with you. It was this girl. I was crazy about her. Everything was going good. I sent her some flowers to her job because she had called me up on the phone and was like, she was having a bad day, such and such. So I sent her some flowers to the job. And she was like, why did you waste money on flowers? I was like, oh, shit. So guess what? I ain't never sent nobody no flowers since.
Okay, so you let that little bag go into your whole luggage. You've been carrying that with you for a long time. Can't nobody else get no roses to the You know what's bullshit. Right there.
Wow.
Straight really hurt you?
I don't know what her wording was because I actually could kill a cactus. And I don't have time to take care of flowers, so I might tell you, you know what, these are beautiful, but please don't waste your money.
But she didn't even tell me it was beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like, and I love them. I love to smell them, I love to see them, but I will kill them, like, within hours.
You still show the appreciation.
But my thing is, it's still about showing the appreciation and the thought, like the thought behind it, and the intention that this man bought me something.
But I definitely tell you, now, don't.
But she didn't even tell me, like, the whole thing, like, oh, you know, this is beautiful. I'm like that. She was just like, why are you sending that?
She had no tact. No tact.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. I won't send them no more, nigga.
But pause, you didn't know she was the type of person to look at a gift and say something like that?
No, because she wasn't like that before.
Oh, okay.
But I just think, you know,
whatever. Did certain things jade your judgment.
But let me tell you what happened though.
That's true. We overlook a whole lot of bullshit because of some exterior crap or some superficial BS. Yeah, we do, and that kind of makes it really bad for everybody in the future. And that was something else that I was going to bring up. Like some of the things that even I'm a woman. I can only speak for women. Some of the things that we accept, some of the things that we allow. You know what I mean? Where you know what I'm saying?
Trust me. Yes.
Not only that, like some of the things that we do, everybody don't deserve that. And then when you're jumping through hoops, like there's a dog and pony show. He believes that he did something fantastic to deserve that. You know what I mean? Where, in the end, what's that saying? You pay bills, you pay your car note, you pay your house note. Good job for being a damn adult.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
you think a lot of people like to be rewarded for doing shit
regular?
That helps?
Yes.
Of course.
People are stuck in the mind frame that people deserve it. Like, me being nice to you is only a reflection of myself. Like, it's a reflection that I love myself. A lot of people don't take enough time to actually date and love themselves first. And that's why they're getting damaged by all these people. Because you're looking for love and you're only going to attract the things that are in yourself,
But and with that said, I do believe that we also live in a world of entitlement.
Yeah,
that was on my time.
So
people feel like they are entitled.
Yeah, like that's
entitled.
What like.
Yeah, that is so.
And that's usually because of the past relationships. Like,
spoiled,
she did this for me, or he did this for me, and nigga, you didn't deserve it then either. Like,
and I also think we live in a world that again struggles with showing gratitude the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Like properly saying, just that whole thank you. I appreciate that.
Right.
And really meaning it. Like, hey, that was dope. Thank you. That thing. Sometimes people treat things like, oh, you were supposed to do it. Nah. Didn't deserve a thank you. I didn't have to add the gravy. Okay. I had to do it. I did not have to add that gravy. Okay, you ate the dry the way it was. But that's where it changes.
That is so true.
Yeah, because a couple of people like Marcus, I feel you. It's the thought that counts. I thought it was the thought that counts. But let me tell you, once I stopped doing nice shit for her after that, she came to me and was like, yo, you just don't seem the same. You don't do nice things for me anymore. I'm like, bitch, I done sent you some motherfucking flowers and you didn't want that shit. I could have saved that $36 something else.
I'm going to question your judgment on that one because you really should have seen that shit coming. Like, first of all, for her to react the way she did over the flowers, and then for her to open her rabbit ass mouth and ask you something about
rabbit ass mouth.
Prina will keep it 100 with that. Yeah, so for those of you that's just joining us, this is BOREDinDE's podcast. We have Vandy and G'Jurel hanging out with me and Prina today, talking about relationships and dating in a small state like Delaware. And I shared a little story with them about why I no longer send women flowers and shit like that. And I just don't send flowers anymore and stuff. I know I need to get past that, but I'm gonna seek counseling.
So you stayed with her and said, I'm not going to do anything else nice for you. That's petty as shit. That's petty as shit. Like, I'm going to stay with you, but nah, make your own plate.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Quick. So did you give her the flowers because it was like more of a gesture to say I'm sorry or anything?
No. She called me and was like, I'm having a bad day at work. They're getting on my nerves, this and that. So I knew she I think it was daisies or daffodils or something. So I sent a dozen of them, and she was just like, "Why you sending flowers?" And I'm like, "Damn."
Oh yeah, misery likes company. Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
I was like, "Damn, I ain't got enough postage to send this bit." So I was gonna get that to you later, but now fuck it.
Oh my gosh.
Cool, man.
Only Lindsay. Only Linland. But yeah, I used to only flowers when my ex-boyfriend was like apologizing and stuff.
Oh no, I've never been one of those type. And
I was one of those types.
And yes,
We're
Tracy, somebody hurt
here
me.
you go.
Yeah, she hurt me bad and stuff, and I never got over that.
She watching?
I don't know what she's doing there. But it's funny because her niece, who I've known since I was a baby, she still calls me Uncle Tuck.
Oh.
Because we've been together so long, and it's like it's kind of unspoken that I don't ask about her aunt, and she doesn't volunteer information about her aunt, but she sees me all the time. It's like, hey, Uncle Tuck, that's not. And actually, her mom is dating somebody in my building, so I see her mom all the time, and she's like, hey, son. So the love is still there. It's kind of unspoken. We just don't speak on her.
Okay.
And stuff because I was so good to the family and stuff, and it just went,
So why'd y'all end?
Huh?
So why'd y'all end?
Dun dun.
Because it wasn't about the flowers.
Nah, but I think what happened is that I was very affectionate up until the point that the flowers were rejected. Then I stopped being affectionate, and I think she was like, "Yo, what's going on?" Because I stopped holding her hand, stopped hugging her.
Damn.
So I kind of
that's why I said you so literally she said that and you stopped doing nice things. That's literally
so the relationship ended then.
So yeah,
it really
ended then. Wow.
That's me. That's me.
Wow.
I'm not beating
so that turned
horse.
you off all the way.
Right.
That would have. Yeah. That
Tracy, who's killing you with the eye rolling? Is it Prina? Because Prina rolls her eyes at me regardless. It ain't got to be this particular topic. She just gonna roll her eyes at me regardless because I be acting a fool. But I love her.
It's actually where these cameras are versus where Tuck is, and I like to look at people when they're talking. So it may sound like I'm rolling my eyes, but I'm not.
But as Marcus said, some women jump to conclusions too. They feel like a gift of flowers could be a proposal. That wasn't no proposal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It wasn't.
Okay, to keep it all the way 100, and you said something that showed me what it was. It just sucks. What it was she was having a bad day. You said, remember, Misery Loves Company. You sent the flowers. What you were thinking is at least a thank you. Instead, what she gave you was her ass to kiss because she was having a bad day.
Yeah, so that she carried on.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It had nothing to really do with you, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people's actions, guess what? If I'm nasty towards you, I'm like, get out my fucking way. Guess what? That's a reflection of myself. It may look like, it's so personal, right? But in reality, it's a reflection of who I am. You know? It's a choice to be motherfucking positive. You think I want to be nice to people all the time?
Fact.
Now, Bree says, if you love someone, you will make sure that they appreciate them. The lowest acts of kindness mean so much. Bree is so beautiful.
Yeah, but we're humans too, love. Like,
I think that's a beautiful sentiment.
Oh,
but I think in reality, some people don't. Some people don't know how to show appreciation.
Right.
Period.
And my boy Brendan says, I appreciate you, bro, for sharing experience with us. Man, I can share a whole bunch of shit with you.
Oh, yes.
We know.
We're at light work right now.
Yeah. Oh man, but Marcus says basically all things change, good brother. Yeah, they do, and everything's gotten better. It's just like I said, sometimes I have one of those moments where I'm like wondering if I reacted different. What would we have been? But it doesn't matter, because he's been like 4 or 5 girls ago.
You never know.
But you never know, though. You never know.
I always think if it didn't happen, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
If it was, it would be.
Y'all weren't in the right time. Sometimes time changes.
Right. Now let me ask y'all this. What do you think about, like, when I say cavalier, I mean, I think some people down here are too cavalier with their love. Yeah. Because, like, let's say, for instance, if I was dating Prina, then she got tired of my ass and got rid of me, then I started dating Vanity within weeks of that. That's really no time. Like, I still got Prina on my mind, my thoughts and everything, but now I'm bringing whatever energy Prina sent me on my little way with, I'm bringing that to Vanity.
You think people have that much emotional intelligence? I'm dead serious. Like, especially because when something is lacking in real life, when people are going through those things, then however they move, sometimes they're in their own bubble of emotion. I use the example of grief. If you ever for me, in grief, there are times when life gets hazy. You don't know why. It just feels a little different, right? Well, in the breakup or an emotional disconnect that way, you're going through grief. You have a loss of a person, right? You literally are losing somebody who was that close connected to you. So you're acting in that emotion.
Yep.
Cool. So now you're trying to fill that void however you're running around and moving. But that part, most people aren't that emotionally intelligent in the moment. A lot of people feel. That's why rebounds are rebounds, because they're feeling. I'm just moving on how I feel, and sometimes it's that.
I don't understand the whole rebound thing.
What do you think, Van?
That's crazy.
I agree. G'Jurel just hit it, yo. I think that's so true. Yeah, mindfulness and emotional intelligence is definitely key. Although, we are humans, and I feel like the same thing. Like, if you're in your circle, you're like, oh, she looking kind of attractive. Like, you start looking at people differently. But at the same time, there's no excuse. Like, I've seen some sloppy work, like sloppy stuff in circles. And I look at people differently, although it wasn't my place, like, to per se judge. It's my place to kind of, like, take notes. I'm like, oh, okay. Because to me, that shows, like, a character. Like that's a base of someone's character. Like, it's just messy.
Yeah, I judge.
It's just messy.
I do too. I judge. I mean, you cool, but where you're at. You're placed in that
I'm like, I just can't associate and fuck with you. Like, I don't want that in my circle.
Yeah, if you move
that's
on
what I mean.
2 weeks,
like, I don't judge.
Yeah,
I don't judge. I just move on.
That's
what I'm trying to say.
I cannot give physical energy to anybody that I actually don't like. I've already been, interacting with in some way. So that boo-hoo emotional bullshit, because I just lost this or lost that, and then I'm over there a week later. No, I've been over there. Whether it's been an emotional connection that this other person didn't know about.
No, but that's the transition of the relationship. That's what I'm saying.
There should be no transition within 2 weeks.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it doesn't start previously. I'm telling you that, okay, now, unless I'm wrong, to me, I think a lot of times people disconnect from a relationship long before it ends.
Yeah,
Again, his relationship ended at the roses. Okay? They were together however long after that, but it ended at the roses.
That's true, but that's crazy. There's no way. And that could be me being the person that I am. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to jump from this one and go to that one in 2 weeks.
I see that.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
But it happens a lot, and especially happens a lot in a small state like Delaware.
I don't have to be lonely.
Yeah.
Because what I always find funny, especially with like the social media, like how somebody could be single 1 week talking about men ain't shit. Men ain't shit.
Single is complicated. Single is complicated. Single is complicated.
That is attention seeking. That's attention seeking. That don't have nothing to do. That's attention seeking. Really, it is. That's
attention seeking.
Yes.
Because I see that a lot. Like, I'm like, damn, since you were just talking about killing yourself last week, now you're giving out relationship advice.
I was actually in a group, and it happened.
We going down this path.
It went from there to they got their own, relationship thing. And I'm like, what? Really? Yeah. You was just on the ledge like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I can't take advice from you. I can't take advice from younger people. You ain't lived long enough to tell me or consult me on my own person.
Yeah, I'm about to say it. Like, my pop used to tell me, baby, he was like, nigga, I was your age. You ain't been mine yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got a kid in mid-20s.
Right. I think people lived in too much of a public space because of social media, and I hate saying people because that generalizes so much, but I think there are some people who go on social media and every time there's a turn in their life, or not even a turn,
they tell everybody.
They feel like it's everybody's business, and they're always attention seeking. Like in their world, they want the whole world to know every bit. To me, I'm just the type of person who feels like the more you give the world, the less of yourself you have to yourself, if that makes sense.
If it's a check per view, then we talking about something else.
Absolutely, but if there's no
check,
there's no game,
bits and pieces about my life, that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Social media, honestly, is I actually entertain myself on social media. I do. I can laugh at myself. I can make fun of myself. I can do some dumb, goofy stuff and share it.
Now let me we got a couple questions from the audience and everything. Marcus asked, should more people date outside their race? Honestly, absolutely. I'm going to take this one. I think you should date whoever makes you happy.
Absolutely.
Whether they are your race or they're another race over, as long as they love and respect you, you should date whoever you be happy.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Tuck.
Okay.
Because of that statement. If people should date what makes them happy, specifically, I'm talking to you, then why do you feel like people don't are so hard on certain things that they don't settle enough and they won't bend enough. When really they're just looking for what makes them happy. A lot of times you tend to say that people shouldn't, hey, what they're looking for is too specific. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's what they're looking for is what makes them happy.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's not what makes them happy. I know where you're going, and I don't like you for this. I know where you're going. But no, I think it's a difference when somebody has that ideal image in their head of what their mate is, and then what truly makes them happy. Because I think a lot of times people really don't know what makes them happy till they experience it.
Some things I know won't make me happy now.
I know. Fucked up feet won't make me happy. But I tolerated fucked up feet because, it was more to the package. You know what I mean?
He gets on my damn nerves.
I know, he's being honest.
He is being honest. That is true.
My nerves.
But I'm just saying though, like I know where he going, and see that's why I brought him on here because he gonna keep me honest. He gonna be like, yo, you can't bullshit because we talk. I know.
So what you tolerate versus what will make you happy.
Right.
You're so right, but a lot of times people, they merge the reality and the fantasy of things, right? And they get mad when the outcome of their fantasy isn't happily ever after. Oh, what happened? Oh, all those pictures on social media, so many relationships I've seen, I know behind the scenes, I'm like, y'all are fronting. But listen.
You don't look like that 25
No! Listen, social media has created a platform. When I was younger, right, I was like a weird kid, right? But the cool kids, shut up, Lindsay. But the cool kids, I was always like, hi, how are you, right? Social media has taken it out. Where instead of just saying hi to the cool kids, now if I pay you enough money, I can hang out with you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now if I put you on this platform, like, it's so fraudulent.
You're a groupie.
Yeah.
You're a groupie.
It's fraudulent. So I don't know, social media is
the social media allows old people to be frauds and front and be whatever they want to be.
Because you can paint a picture with your good colors.
You sure can.
You know what I mean? I got a box of Crayola on my social media.
Yeah.
I can paint all the cool colors, but the crayon is broke. I ain't got to use that one. I got to use this one. Right. Or the one crayon don't look good. I ain't got to use it. I got to just paint a happy ass picture where we all know people that's on social media that they'll post these lovey-dovey pictures and you be like, nah, nigga, you was just sleeping on my couch because you said you couldn't stand a bitch.
Photoshop the whole relationship.
Right.
You done cut in somebody else. It wasn't me now. Change the color.
But that just shows the perception, like how we yearn to be accepted, and the lack of identity. Who are we? We are scared to go within, and that's why we're here now talking about.
Right.
Like, how shallow am I if I Photoshop and I'm copy and paste, like how?
So two different things. I mean, I do believe that we live in a world where people seek validation.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
That's why social media is great. They want other people to like their own shit. And I respect it because we're on social media right now. Okay? That same shit. But
follow us.
But it's at least for this, it's actually go for a positive nature. Sometimes, a lot of times, people do it in those cases where it's just to kind of build themselves up, as opposed to actually even sharing into content.
What happens when you log off?
The mirror? Oh God! Don't ever look at that.
But like no one, that time between, man, is sadness.
Yeah, some people only look at the mirror for a makeup tutorial.
I'm gonna tell y'all now, and I've said this publicly, I don't know how many times. When I find him, and outside of my business, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do about the business side. I'm not even going to use that as a crutch. All social media, the network my ass. Most of y'all don't even have businesses. That's some bullshit. Anyway, when I do meet him, I'm probably going to go off the grid. And I say that because when I was married and I was happily married, social media, what? I ain't got no time for this shit.
That is so true.
I was dating him. We were traveling. We owned businesses. We had an infant. I was managing a mortgage brokerage. We had an infant. We were homeschooling a teenager. We were trying.
Who was the infant, Sean or his brother?
Sean was the infant.
Okay.
Shaquille was the teenager at the time. But we were trying to get spiritually right with God. You know what I mean? We were going to Bible study. Like, we were so busy. And we did do a lot of things with other married couples. And believe it or not, that kept us grounded. Wow. You know what I mean? Because the BS is just not surrounding you.
Yeah.
There was no issues with, other women and cheating and somebody come at me wrong. And I'm like, I know you could care less about this ring on my finger. But ain't nobody got time for your bullshit. You come along with a whole lot of baggage. I figured out like, all right, that package look good, but you gonna get probably like 2 seconds of a glance, and I'm on my way. I ain't got time for that. Cause there's some other shit behind that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You wake up with that, and it's baby mamas and it's child support. You can't keep a damn job. Like it's some crap tied to some of those booty pics in those pictures.
I know.
Yes. Those personal trainers with those flat abs. It's some bullshit in that behind that dumbbell. It's some BS.
And my boy Anthony says people wake up to check social media first before they say hello to the person sleeping next to them.
Right.
God damn.
Breath funky. They don't even brush their damn teeth before they check in what's in their DM.
Because we crave. At the end of the day, like we're all like big little kids, you know. We crave the things that. We crave it. Like we crave that, like the attention, the instant. I don't know what it is.
It's the microwave effect. We want everything and we want it now. We don't want to have to go out and meet people.
Well, okay.
And have conversations.
Now,
conversation.
It's microwave.
Now, realistically, and I tell
engagement.
people this all the time, because of how life works, this thing right here, people can, between this and those computers, you can live your whole life and not interact with people.
Absolutely.
Like not in a human form. Like you can talk to them. So social skills have slacked. That's why when you mentioned courting earlier, people don't know how to court because that's not. Listen, Netflix and chill. It costs $9.99. Might have got a bottle of vino. You know what I'm saying?
I think you know what. Until we become mature enough to say, you know what, nah, I'm not doing this shit. I did this.
Somebody
last
has
year
to say
and the
no.
year before last.
Somebody
that
has
is
to say
not
no.
enough. Nigga, this is not enough. Yeah. We're not Netflix and chilling tonight.
Yeah.
This is not enough.
But I think that also.
I'm sorry. It's at the beginning. It's not in the middle. It's not 10 conversations later. It's like, all right, no, we're not gonna do this back and forth for the next month. Are we going out? Are we gonna actually meet face to face? I need to see if you use your damn utensils or your hands to eat. Yeah. Like, it's some things I need to see you face to face.
Animalistic.
You know what I mean?
You over there in Chino, they walk around cutting the meat, and you like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you tip your waitress? Do you say please and thank you? Are you matter? I need to see that shit now. I don't need to see that shit later.
Yeah.
And then even our conversation and the questions that we asked, that initial conversation. No, what the hell is your intent? Of course, not that rough. That's me.
Right.
I'm not even that rough. But I need to know what your intentions are, because what we not going to be doing is a year from now doing this bullshit. We not going to do that. A year from now, that's not what we're doing. I don't date for fun anymore.
Right.
I like to have fun while I'm dating, but I am dating to find that mate.
You're past that phase.
I feel you.
I'm past that.
I feel like I'm too old to be wasting sniffies.
I have. You know what?
Like you on low count. Like you like, listen, I only got like 16 left.
You fucking them up. You fucking it up.
Not wasting this on
I ain't wasting this on you.
Yeah, I'm good. I already know what I have to offer. I already been down that road. Trust me, I had fun. I had fun for 2, 3, 4. I had enough fun. Done with that.
You did some research. That was it.
Like that chef was like, we're going to sprinkle this a little bit.
I'm good.
Man, look at Tracy saying, push through their Prina. Dang. I got to throw that boy on the screen. That was classy. Date with a purpose.
Silly. Yeah, I'm done.
You think people don't date with a purpose no more? People just date whatever's cool?
They date multiples? Okay, so
what does dating mean?
I had a conversation with a guy under my post.
There's a time frame.
And I felt this to be so profound. And I'm like, how do we get out of this? All right, he said, you know what? When you find somebody that you like, you really need to go ahead and take the risk and throw your effort and energy into that person. Don't continue to date 3 and 4 others, because you're gonna find you've been doing this for a while.
Right.
So you're gonna find something that you like in all 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
You're comfortable.
Right.
At no point are you gonna really want to give up them 3 or 4. You're gonna do a whole lot of damage when you actually have to like drop the hammer. You're gonna do a lot of damage. So when you find that one, get rid of the others.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it's something new or newer. Why you have an opportunity to start fresh. Somebody that don't, have a history with you. Somebody brand new. Why do you want to F it up?
So
Seriously.
So here's what I'll say, and I agree with you. But I think the struggle that people come into is you have to be at a certain phase in your life or a certain point in your life at the point in which the person you're interested in is at that point in their life as well. Because if y'all not both there, then the time it's going to take to catch up is going to be a lot of heartbreak.
That first conversation, one of those first conversations, needs to be exactly that.
Yeah.
You're not wasting my time.
But
do you know how much I make an hour? If I make an hourly wage, you can't afford it. I'm not going to allow you to afford that.
But see, that's why I say it comes at different points in their life. Because you got some people who are, if they're like some people are in their 20s, maybe early 30s, depending on their circumstances. Where if they feel comfortable that they're dating to date because they don't, like, we live in a world where I guess a lot of the younger generation, and I technically in quote unquote in there, but don't like labels. Greatest thing I ever heard was labels are necessary. They stop people from drinking bleach. But people don't want to be. They don't want to. So they fight the labels because they don't want to be put in a box. But sometimes, at least if you're in that box with somebody else, you know who you can depend on to be in that box with you.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But they're too afraid to actually be in that space. Like, I don't want to. They don't want to accept their own reality. So
that initial conversation, and then when you detect those ones that are on this permanent, I want to be childish. I'm on some childish shit. I'm living my life like I'm 20. At my age, you need to go ahead and let that shit go. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously, like, let that go. Stop looking. Oh, but I like him. But I like the way he takes me. Let that bullshit go. Because it ain't going nowhere.
Or at least choose to accept the bullshit you're going to deal with. If that's what you're choosing to deal with, then don't. And now let's go see you talk. Don't complain about it. Yes. Don't come out talking about, oh, woe is me. Because you chose this life, right? You know what you was getting into.
And you know what? I was in that phase. I've been in that phase. I definitely can speak to that. I've been in that. You know what? I'm on some bullshit. Or you know what? I want to be helplessly in love between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. I've been there, right?
Hello, Jesus. Yeah, she's ready.
On the main line.
I've been there. And then I got to that phase where, you know what? This shit is not cute. Because Christmas Eve, or when I want to just hang out, or I want to take somebody to, the family event, I'm like, I don't want to show up at the family event with somebody different every damn event. Better yet, here's more importantly. I have two male sons. What I'm not going to do is allow them to see me with man after man after man after man. It's bad enough I already make them wait till they don't meet my kids 6 months, 9 months in, maybe a little longer than that.
Hell, I'm just in front. I ain't let her kids.
Very protective over my sons. One, I need to make sure that they're not going to be looking for a woman that has men in and out of their lives where they think, they're interchangeable parts. Like, all right, no, I don't want them to do that. And I don't want them to see men in and out of my house. So, that was another thing. I think I did a good job at that, but yeah, I'm past that phase. I'm really past it.
Something else that, based on what you spoke of, and I think that now, even with kids, I think that people live in a don't judge me world, quote unquote, right? So they push a don't judge me agenda.
I guess, yeah.
But when you push that agenda, by the way, people have been judged since kindergarten. But when they push that agenda, they say things, so as opposed to wanting to set that example for their own child, there are people who don't care about that.
I know.
So whoever's up and through is up and through, and that's just uncle this or auntie that.
Yeah, uncles and aunties, they never seen them at the cookout. Yeah, I get it. The reunion,
Yeah, so everybody doesn't look to set that same example or even care. And that takes a level of care for self, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta reach that point when you're ready to care for yourself on that level.
Yeah.
True. Hey, I need a cigarette after that.
Cut it out.
But Vandy.
What's up, what?
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
You under 25. What's it like for your generation? Because G'Jurel's closer to your generation than Prina and I are, but your generation is the one, y'all came and y'all had the internet. Y'all had this social media. This was... Y'all came into that, we grew up and seen, because I come from, Black Planet and shit, that was my Friday night, Black Planet, you know what I mean? So, but you guys are coming up with something different.
Forget Black Planet, man, we was on the party line. Take that shit all the way back. We was on the party line,
Talking about, let me Star. Yeah. Is this Sheila? Yo, you sounded good, girl. I was trying to holler and everything.
On the party line.
Yeah. Age, sex, and location. Remember that?
Yeah, really,
Yeah. But nah, Vandy, how is it though? Yeah, I put you on the spot.
How is dating in Delaware or dating?
No, for your generation. That's
For
what
my
I'm saying.
generation?
Growing up with social media throughout the whole time.
Oh my gosh, I've always been very, very eccentric, and always have dated men 10 years older than me. My first boyfriend actually was 3 years older than me.
That's him calling now.
No.
He's like, girl, put our business out in the street. I ain't
But listen, it's so like it makes me so sad. Like I crave, right, to be courted. I crave like back in the day, like how my grandmother talks, like how the conversations would be and how people wrote love letters and how people actually took the time to talk to you. The late night 3-hour conversations, the affection, like
not asking for pics.
Yeah, like I don't like that kind of stuff. To be honest,
I got your pics.
Like, I don't have any pictures floating around. Like, I don't do that.
Her generation don't
I don't do
know.
that.
Send him back a picture of my guy.
Yeah, her generation don't know how we used to sit by the radio making our soul jam tape. They talking about.
That's so much, but that's so much.
Listen, go take up another solo.
That's it.
Right? No, but listen, but that effort, guess what? I always say this, the time, the effort, right? And the affection, right? That's what I crave. Like, I want that. And it's just the lack thereof. Like, it's devastating. But you know what? I have some genuine people in my life that I have high quality, like, masculine energy and also, like, feminine energy. But, like, I don't consider the guys, like, that have high quality, like, masculine energy in my life, like, I don't consider me dating them per se, but they're in my life, you know? They're quality people, they're in my life. But the problem I have now is that, like, they're trying to, like, date now, but I don't like them. You know, that's my dilemma. Where I just want to chill out, elevate a little bit, talk about documentaries, you know, talk about, like, the news and talk about life and everything. But now they're still seeing me, like, single now, and they're like, Nini, why are you single? What's wrong with you? And I hate that. Nothing's wrong with me.
That's a very dumb question. I never understood that question.
And the
Somebody
generation,
rolls up and be like, yo, why are you saying that?
everybody's just like,
No. When it's asked as if they shouldn't be. If you can ask somebody why they're single, but you got to be willing to accept the answers because that's what they choose to do. Like, what do you mean? Like, it shouldn't be like a frowned upon statement in my mind.
no, but that's how it
Yeah,
is.
it's a whole bunch of plenty of deadbeat homeless dudes out there right now willing to be committed.
Yeah, real quick.
But they need a place to stay.
It's woman here.
They will commit themselves to driving your car.
You ain't
They are committed to eating your food. Listen,
They in the gym right now because Planet Fitness is $1 a sign up trying to get their shit right so they can wear this other spot to sleep. Get the hell out of here.
talk about it's warm in here.
Lord, but yeah, I mean it's like that, but I see it on all different spectrums because the people in my life range in so many different ages, and I find like different things in different like generations. But like the same consistency is communication. I don't feel like we communicate, and I take blame for that too sometimes. Like I let stuff like kind of boil up, and I'll be like, oh, but I'll express it. But nowadays, people don't take the time to really talk about things.
Now, see, you know what's funny?
You know?
At one point, I was like, oh, you know, age is just a number.
Mm-hmm.
So now my child will be 26 this year.
Wow!
That is not the case.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm not hanging with no 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm not even really hanging with any 30-year-olds. But I'm even learning that, you know, men in their 40s, you'd be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be absolutely surprised. I'm just like, wow.
But I guess to me, age doesn't equal maturity or clarity.
Yeah.
Hell no, it don't. I learned that.
Yeah.
No, we figured that out.
Woo!
I believe there's a lot of people who don't seek,
Not at all.
who don't want to be better, right? You know, you said that the one common thread you see is communication, lack thereof. If I look back, if you go back, even back in time when things were different, no matter where you go, communication was always still lack. There was a time when it was like, oh, the father sits here, he still don't really interact. Mom do that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, I wonder how did y'all live together? Because you know, the coexisting piece don't always sit. You know?
But it's the difference between being like having chemistry and being compatible too.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I can vibe with you, right? And that don't mean I gotta be with you. But a lot of men nowadays, just because I vibe
They
with
could
you,
care less.
I
They
can
think
talk
it's
to
one and
you,
the same.
go to coffee and be like, hey, and they're like,
You show them attention,
They're like-
and they automatically think. And I'm like, what? I just said hi.
oh, Vanity, oh, we talking now. You tried it.
Yeah.
You really tried it, and I I've heard so many rumors about myself that I can't believe. So many rumors.
Now that goes.
Yeah.
Now that does.
Rumors about myself.
That does go to a small Delaware in a place in a time when, quite frankly, you are smack in the social media age. So that those two things, a small place and social media together, that equals romance.
Tracy said I was told that it's 2018, not 1965. I was like, bye. What? They didn't want to court? There's nothing wrong with courting. I mean,
my gosh.
There is nothing wrong with knowing that a man is a gentleman.
And he takes time for you. What? He playing that for you. Girl,
something twisted somewhere where they think, that bullshit talk that they talk is cool. You don't talk to me like you with your boys.
But let me speak on that because I've been guilty of falling into that situation where I have no problem courting a woman, but again, deficit of my own. You go out, you court somebody, they're not receptive. You be like, man, fuck it.
Right.
Now you're providing effort.
And then we got to address this money situation because what I've seen a lot is the conversation of money. Yes. So we're dating and we've been on 5, 6, 7 dates, and I always pay and da 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 da. And you know what? Here's the thing about that. At one point, there was no complaints. I'm sure a man of a certain tax bracket, there still wouldn't be any complaints. However, when we are talking about the average folks, let's keep it real, the average folks that's in our circle of, whatever, I don't think it's fair that he pays all the time.
I agree.
I don't.
I agree with that.
Obviously, the person that asks, hey, let's go out, let's go do something, yeah, you kind of sort of expect them to pay. But I don't. I still don't. I don't. Even in that situation, I don't. Like, all right, we done been out 2 times and we went out for drinks and he paid all the time. I'll pick up this one. Or usually most of the time, if he pays that check before I get to it, I'll always pay a tip. I'll always leave a tip. Mm-hmm. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
I think that
people expect a man to pay all the time.
So it is ridiculous somewhat, but I think that a lot of times it just goes to where's the relationship at, where you transition. Sometimes the men are paying in the process of trying to get your affection or attention. Sometimes women are going to go for he paid, so I'm gonna go for this free meal. I don't really fuck with him, but okay. So that for some men, they're trying to buy their way in the door. Okay. So some live in that space.
I'm not cool with hoes. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not. It's no way to smooth that over. I'm not cool with hoes. I'm not cool with bros that do whatever for money, do whatever for food. I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with it, and I'll never be cool with it. You know what I mean? I work my ass off. I'm that chick. If we're in the house together, we can split the bills. However, if I know I make a lot more than you do, and I've done this with my own, and obviously, again, husband benefits are different from boyfriend benefits. But I did this with my husband. If I know I make a lot more money than you, we probably not gonna split the bills down. I'm probably gonna get a little more cut than what you would pay.
But I assume by that time y'all were years in the relationship. So like now discussing finances, finances were mutual. Y'all was married, right? Like I would think at that point.
Exactly. So I mean, it was just a matter of making sure that and he and the only reason I even brought this up was because he was, and I didn't tie this part in. He was brought up to believe that. The man pays for everything. Yeah. And he was adamant about that. His dad is from deep South. He was adamant about that. And I wasn't going to take that thing, you know what I mean? You want to, that thing that, I want to feel like a man, blah, 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 blah. You are a man, but I'm not going to take that from you. If you want to keep that, cool. Something you want to teach our sons, we have boys, cool. But I'm not going to allow you to have, a lot less in your pocket than I'm walking around with, knowing that, you know what I mean?
Y'all got to match.
Like, I think that's stupid. Exactly. You want to yoke, we need to really, really, really yoke.
But with that said, some men have pride in paper and power. So in their mind, for some men, their ego is on their pocketbook. So they wild.
That's true. And I probably won't ever get along with that person.
Probably not.
I'm so not materialistic. Right. I'm not into that crap. I'll never get along with that dude.
Absolutely.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here thinking like, damn. Yeah, I fell in that once.
Tracy said they think if we go out twice, then we should smash. No, you got that right, Tracy. The hell with that shit.
No, but something that you said about being yoked, like it's about being equally yoked. You know, a lot of people, it's like we make excuses for the people that aren't supposed to be in our lives. You know, like we already know. Like I'm the kind of person I like bouncing. So if I pay once, then you pay, right? Or if we go to the bar, I'll be like, did you already pay? Like it's like a competition for like who can be kinder or who can be loved more. Like you know, first. I'm corny, but I love it. I don't care. So that's just me. But at the same time, you can't. I feel like people, like my girlfriends, sometimes they be expecting their ex to be like the next Joe. He's not going to be like the ex. Yeah. Like, just keep moving.
That's another thing, too, with this whole relationship thing. Yeah. I do not. I told people in a minute, yes, I intend to get married again. I will not hold, whatever issues happen with my ex-husband against the next guy. I will not compare the two. I had 21 years. I had a damn lifetime with this man. We have 2 kids. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take anything away from that. At all. But I'm also moving into a new phase in my life. I want something different. I want something new. You know what I mean? I always have my foundation in the things that, that I absolutely require. Yeah. But they're not outrageous. You know what I mean?
Did you ever have a point in which you felt like you wouldn't do it again?
No. Nope. Not at all. I was a good wife.
Right.
I was a good wife.
You enjoyed being a wife.
I enjoyed being a wife.
That's the thing.
I really did.
That's the difference.
I enjoyed being a wife. Like I said, please, social media, what? Like, we had fun together when we were happy.
And now, I think, now that's the hard part. I think that some people, whether they enjoy being a wife, enjoy being a husband, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, they'll judge how they feel about relationships off of that relationship. Yeah. Right? So what you went through that one time now makes you feel like it might just be for self-preservation. This is where baggage comes from. Right? I'm not going to let myself be that vulnerable. I'm not giving that much of myself again because I ain't like how it felt coming out. Yeah. But really, hold up, how good did it feel before?
I've heard that before too. And not only that, like, again, with it being a while ago and social media wasn't so prevalent and so available then, like, we didn't have the hoes in the inboxes and the random pictures flying through and the exes from 99 years ago popping up and you know what I mean? And these groups where it's a group of hoes in there just doing wild, crazy stuff.
We didn't like the bear group.
We didn't have that dumb shit. Exactly. We didn't have that shit. That's a disease group. That is an STD group. That's what the hell that really is. Like,
you know what?
All the way from and most of them are. And even the ones that pretend, we're about this and we're about that and we're about this. It takes for one, he's so funny. No, he's out of pocket. And then you're going to let him go a little further and a little further and a little further. And before you know, he's smashing everybody in the goddamn group. It's terrible. It's horrible. And these groups still popping up. I thought they died for a second. They still popping up.
But they will pop up, and I hate motherfuckers that add you to them. And
I just realized I'm seeing these things in this group, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is some new damn cesspool of foolishness.
My grandma always says you're going to end up with a big disease, like with a little name. She always told me that. She was like, relax, Vanity. I'm like, oh my God, she's so funny.
And I don't mind.
And I love your grandma.
I love her.
Right, Tracy. Exactly. Tracy said she has daughters and granddaughters. She has to stick to her standards. I get that too. I'm a mom, but I'm still a role model for my sons. Yeah. I believe I can't do that. I can't allow that shit to happen.
Look at Brendan talking about I'm in like 3. He's a stupid. And we want to talk about wife too.
She said, no, we had the hoe at the store that flirted. Wow. But it was one hoe. It wasn't 15,000.
It's so crazy how
it was one.
It's so crazy.
It's easy to vet her out. Yeah, she ain't really about shit. I know her cousin. She only take care of her own kids. Yeah. It was easy to vet that out. You know what I mean? In person, Tracy. It was so easy to vet them out.
But what I see now is that, with social media, hoes that might be from one area, they migrate to another one and be like somebody totally new.
Oh yeah.
Until you start doing some background checking, they be like, nah, dog, that cooter tainted. You better be careful.
God. That cooter tainted. Tainted. Got the tainted cooter. Sound like a mystical song.
Prime example. And I always said this, and it's no disrespect to my brothers and sisters that live in ATL, but I know there's a lot of people that aren't shit here will run to the ATL and create whole fucking new lives for themselves. Yeah. And I'm like, when I talk to, I was active, so I was in the game and you know stuff like that. So I know a lot of people. So if somebody asked me like, "Yo, you know this chick named Sabrina?" I'm like, "Who?" Well, social media motherfuckers send me a page. I'm like, "Oh." I always wondered what happened to her. She used to live up here, you know. She was burning motherfuckers left and right. Nigga, she down here and she queen big, motherfucking club. No, homie, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Take it from your boy. I want us to grow old together. Don't touch that.
Right.
I'm sad about Atlanta because when my experience with Atlanta, I lived there for a little bit. It is a very, and I should not say in Atlanta, I live on the outskirts, but it is a very family friendly place. They have a lot of activities for families to do. Free stuff too, like good quality stuff. Very clean state, believe it or not. I always said, God, I'd love to go back there. My allergies and my sinuses and my skin was beautiful when I was there.
Your skin beautiful now.
Thanks, Tug. I always said that, I'd go back, but that's really, I would not go back single because that shit scares me. Yeah. I'm definitely going to take Sands and Beach.
That's hilarious.
Because it's some beautiful, beautiful sword fighting dudes down there.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of.
Listen, I went gorgeous, but dating people in Atlanta.
You haven't heard that?
I've heard, but I'm like to hear it from a woman because I hear other dudes be like, yo.
Well, I understand it's probably worse for them. Realistically, all right, that's not what we into.
Right.
For them, they might be looking at a dude and then they think the dude is for. It's not even.
They looking good.
That's the problem. It's a tragedy for them.
Now, obviously, there's the ones down there with their eyebrows arched. That's obvious, right? Stevie Wonder could see that shit. But it's the other ones. Eyebrows ain't arched.
I wouldn't have known that.
And they look good.
Stevie like, I don't fuck with him. Ray Charles from the grave talking about grab the bitch on. Grab the bitch on. That's real strong. You don't want to fuck with that one.
Let me shut up.
That's hilarious.
Brendan said tons of them. You know that's right.
Tons of them.
So you said you definitely would love to get married again?
Oh, yeah, I'd get
That's
married
so beautiful.
again. I would get married again, and I'm not looking for that dude. One, I don't want nobody in the music industry. Let me just put that out there. I am not interested in anybody in the industry, in my industry. I actually don't want anybody in.
You feel the work?
No, I don't. I'm not looking for the perfect guy. There's nothing for us to work on together with the perfect guy. I don't want that.
Now, do you think it should be like a period where you take time to know somebody and build up and shit like that? Because I see, especially with social media, I see a lot of people, they're single 1 week, then they're all in love, and I'm like, damn, you just met dude or whatever.
Or did she just meet dude? Because you never know.
Yeah, because those two things are right. So one I completely agree with. Just because you see something on social media, people don't add backstory. People treat it. I hate this about TV shows.
Yeah.
I hate when I'm watching a show and it treats it like I didn't watch the previous episode. I already know these people. That it has to make sense, right? So some people will go on social media. Same people who will create a whole new identity and now be popping in a different space is the same people who go on social media and want to create this whole thing, right? So what they show you isn't always real, and that's even for people who want to keep their stuff private. Listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm not somebody who puts a whole bunch of meat on social media. Just not who I am. I'm not comfortable that way. But I think that some people love to give themselves out there just for that fact. Now, and that's where you get people who saying that they're with one week and then not with the.
I promise you, when I do find him, well, no, I shouldn't say when I do find him. I'm going to say, you know what? No, I'm not even going to elaborate on what I was about to say. But if I ever become not single, no. It was about to come out. It was about to come out sideways. So when that time does come, when I'm no longer single, and I should make it public or make it known, trust me, I've been seeing him for over a year.
Okay.
Trust me. It's just that can't nobody ever tie me to anybody on social media. I don't post pictures. I ain't changing my relationship status. I don't do that.
Now, let me share this with you. Like, one thing I didn't stop doing.
What you about to say? What you about to say?
There was like 5 things that came to my head right now. I want you to know. It's like 5. Where are we going? It's like,
about the whole courting and things of that sort. Why do you think so many people find courtship corny? Example, it was a young lady I was dating, and I said, "Yo, let's get together. We're gonna do lunch." And she's like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it." So I actually packed a picnic, and we went to Brandywine State Park, not Brandywine in the hood, but Brandywine where you got the mountains and
That's the best
and somewhere
kind.
like that. And we sat down and we had a picnic in the park. Even though things didn't work out, to this day, she's like, "Yo, that was the best fucking date I ever had."
Yes.
She was like, she's like, when you came up and I got in the car and I seen the basket in the back, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? I'm like, nah, we're gonna go sit outside and stuff like that. And I knew she had little allergy things, so I had, brought, the little allergy medicine and, some spray to, I had lit some incense to keep the bugs away from and shit like that. And she was like, even though it didn't work out, because me and her are still cool to this day, she's like, yo, that was like hands down, your date is the benchmark for all the other dates.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
But you know what that makes sense to me? I believe that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that a good date or a good gift from a man to a woman, or in a romantic scenario, come from either creativity or cash flow. So either you're going to spend money on something nice, or you're going to spend time and effort to create something nice.
Yep.
But what you did was spend time and effort to create something nice. That was dope.
Yeah, because I was kind of broke.
But she would have never thought of broke. And that's how you do
I don't
it.
want all the flash though.
Right.
I don't want all the flash.
it's
I don't want all the
not about
distraction. Don't take me
Absolutely.
somewhere with a bunch of people and lights and all this BS. I don't want all that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather have you one alone if I can, because it kind of forces you
To
be
interact.
exactly and to be real.
Yeah.
You don't have to play off of all of this fake crap that's around us. You have to talk.
And we
I
had
can
some
hear
very
conversation.
good conversation. Like, I'm thinking the date we're going to be like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. We was actually out there to the park. Ranger came and was like, "Okay, folks, the park is
Wow,
shut down.
time got away.
It's
That was
going to get dark."
Good.
That was a good one.
And was like, "Well, damn." It felt like, damn, we had so much more to talk about, but we just ended up being really good friends because we took the time to talk and stuff like that. And even though
Yeah.
I was aiming for one thing, the more I spent and talked to her, it's like, "Nah, you family. I'm cool. And which is rare for me because I'll be like, "Yeah, fuck that."
But listen,
Cool.
but life isn't all about staying with people either. Like, it's okay to have genuine vibes and like relax. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like certain people, they always want to be. You know what I mean? Like they always want to like be with somebody, right? So they're like, "Oh, that," like my girlfriend, for instance. She's like, "Oh, that didn't work." I said, "Maybe it wasn't supposed to work. Maybe it was just like a good. It was like a good way to support back into one another, and that was it." And
Well-
it's like everything. Like, people don't have to be with you just because you had a good time. Like, just like you just said,
Right.
And then you get, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. But what do y'all think about it?
I'm sitting here giggling, and not because of what you said, where you said, things, people are not always meant to be and to stay.
They're
I'm thinking to
not.
myself, there's been times when I was on my whole wretched girl thing where it was like,
I can't picture you that, except for the bottle. But the bottle was a beautiful thing. Oh, my.
Shut
I
up.
almost hate to say this because I'm so not this person anymore. But it was like, yeah, he's nice to look at. It ain't gonna last, but whatever for now.
Yeah.
He wasn't smart, but he was
like,
pretty.
it's like,
Don't talk. Just don't talk.
because it's certain people where you can have a blast with, but you're not gonna
Don't
bring
say
them
nothing.
around like Christmas.
No.
That's how they feel.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. People make things.
But
so
I don't keep that
serious.
going though. I
Yeah, you
would
don't
not
keep it
that going.
But it's more like, okay, that was nice. I deserve that, and you keep it
I know
moving.
certain men though will keep that going just to be able to say that they got somebody cute. She might be dumb, but she cute or she fun. So I'm gonna keep her around for years.
Years, I don't know about all that.
But that's
If
because
I can't get nothing out of you, like honestly, if we can't,
yeah.
and I mean, I'm on a whole mental level. Like if we not learning from each other, you know what I mean. If you don't add value to my life,
but
you're not gonna be around.
things men and women both do alike are at times people are looking for just what. Sometimes people do things for show. trophies happen on both sides, right? People just walk around with a trophy, which is crazy to me because if you got somebody that's your trophy. All right, so you want that to just be looked at like for what? That to me that's on a pedestal that can't always be fun, right? That level of pressure. I don't even want my mate to have that much pressure always on her because that's not even comfortable. How are you comfortable venting and being a human if you always got to be up here?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even work that way.
I actually ended a relationship because of that. Because he looked good, he looked damn good, but I kept having to reel him back in, like not bring him back to me, but like, you know what, you look good, but I know there's way more to you than that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's look at something else. Let's do something else. And I think because the past girls held him up like this, and they were superficial too, that he couldn't I mean, it was times where he was like, just, I don't know, amazed that we were even communicating. And I'm like, this is what you're supposed to do if you're in a relationship. Like, it's not always about dressing up and going out to get attention from people who don't even effing matter. Like, seriously. So it was weird. It was really weird. And when it got nasty, put it that way, because, you know, some relationships towards the end, they get real nasty.
Absolutely.
And I was no longer trying to caress his ego and trying to, you know, mold him and fill him back in. I'm like, you know what? You will have to have some more shit than that. Because your looks, Delmarva don't give a F about how good you look.
Yeah, I also always say Delmarva don't take coochie coupons.
No, not
but when they do.
I'm like, don't.
You gonna slang dick to Delmarva top? You can't slang dick to Delmarva top? What's wrong with you?
Don't make a way.
Real quick, my boy Cass said, I don't know. I don't think it's possible to find what you want and not be looking for it. Just reading that makes no sense. How do you find something if you aren't even looking for it? I guess you're talking about, like, you know, if I don't know what I want up here, then how do I know to go out and look for it, or how do I go out and find it? It's something like that.
I don't understand it.
It does happen.
Yeah,
I walked into places to apply for a job that I wanted, and they ended up hiring me for something else. I wasn't looking for that. I got it though.
Sometimes you get what you need, not what you want.
Yeah.
So
and it turned out to be a better. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think with relationships, I think some people hit a line where they say, this is what I'm looking for. And then I think a lot of relationships now, even regardless of the courting thing, and maybe this is where that goes left, a lot of people fall into relationships where it wasn't because of a steady dating thing. It was, we hang out here, we hung out there, we did this, we did that. This is where, and honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, this is probably some of the generation gap. Because a date for some people is, all right, well, me and you, we gonna go here and we gonna do this. And for that other person, that's not a date for them. That was just going there and doing that.
We've had that date. That's a date. And not only that, some people dating.
What's a date? What is a date?
Versus dating many, you have to pretty much define that.
Yes.
Like, all right, yeah, I'm dating. That don't mean I'm just dating your ass. Dating though. It's like, it has to be.
You see how she looked at me like,
I wasn't talking to you.
And that's why
because of the bottom.
But that's why some people define a date by the billfold.
That's true. I'd say you can cut all that out with that upfront conversation.
Yeah,
so serious.
But nobody wants to communicate
because half the time they're deceiving. You know what I mean? It's not all on the surface anyway, and that's what I'm finding. Where you know people are not really laying their cards out, or especially the ones that you actually meet online. I think. After a while, you know, people have told so many lies, they can't keep up with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they tend to be a little quiet. Not really quiet, but, you know, afraid to say too much to contradict themselves.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing. So.
But I think it's one of two things. It's people live in lies. There are people who it's weird too, that like their whole mind, and I don't know if they believe it, but they'll live in this whole fantasy thing. And then there are also people who don't want to accept reality. Right? So some people don't have those conversations because I don't want you to tell me. Because if you tell me, now I have to accept the fact of what you gave me. If I don't ask you...
Okay, but I'm going to tell you and let's work on it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
I
know that.
there are a lot of people who are afraid
I
of
want
that.
Like, I need that. I need those people around me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't need them people around me that's, Prina, you're so perfect, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. I got some shit under this table
some
right
people
now.
are trying to be
I got some shit taped to the bottom of this
I
table.
be like,
you don't know about.
gas.
I need somebody to be real. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's lacking too.
So,
That is.
absolutely.
Nobody wants to go within, y'all. Nobody, like, and that's That's why we're suffering. No one wants to go within. And if I can't get it from you, guess what? I can get it from her, and your friend. You know, like, it's just like,
damn.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Lord.
That's why they won't let them be great.
I need you to give me a 4 excerpt with that on it. Let them be great. But now let me ask this, and I want everybody to take a moment to tell me
What's up, Tug?
your ideal date is.
What's a date? Define that.
An opportunity to go out to get to know someone.
You should ask her to define what a date is to her.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Because you're the one who you will be the one being courted.
Like, what is dating? What's dating?
This way.
What is dating?
What's dating to you?
That's what he does.
Oh, okay.
Or you don't believe in dating? That's not another question.
No, okay. So I definitely believe in being courted and dating and all this great stuff, right? But I find that it gets stuck there. Say for instance, okay, 3 weeks ago I went out with a blind date. First off, okay, anyway, I went out with my girlfriend, and she took her boo, and it was her boo's friend, right?
They do that? You do that still?
I wanted to try it out. I told her I wanted it. She said, "Girl, I got you." And she was like, "Yeah, his friend's been asking about you." I was like, "He asked about me. What? Okay, he's a beard. Okay, what's up?" So we
has a beard.
we ended up going to Philadelphia and everything. And of course we exchanged numbers, and he's like, "I've been following you on the gram," and I was like, "Oh, that's great. How's life?" But I found that he was trying so hard, like, to be deep or whatever. Like, it was so bad. All I wanted him to be like was himself, you know. Yeah. And I was being myself, but
You say you're trying to be deep,
he started talking about like morality.
Well, he was trying to analyze your post and try to match your skill
and he's
set.
an older gentleman. He's like, well, not older. He is older. He's 34, 33, 34. What was I going to say? So after I got home, he had texted me. He was just like, "Yeah, that was a great date." And I was like, "Oh, that was a date?" And I texted my girlfriend. I was like, "That was a date?" And she was like, "Hey, yeah, that was a double date." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I don't know, from that experience and other experiences I've had, like, I don't know. I thought that was, I mean, it's technically like a blind date, right? But I didn't think it was that, like, serious, you know?
So,
and he was taking it really serious.
So what's,
you know what I mean?
What's in your book? What's a date?
Was that a date? I don't think that was a date.
But we want to know, Vandy, what's a date?
What's a date?
Because honestly, I probably would have thought the same thing. Like, that was an introductory date.
That was a meet and greet.
To be clear, just, and you still need to define what a date is, by the way. But to keep it 100, if you started off the sentence with saying you went on a blind date, then most likely, by verification,
okay? But my thing is, to me, a date is if you like somebody, if you're attracted to somebody, and you want to see if they're if I'm dating you, right? I'm already attracted to you, and I'm interested to see if I can be compatible with you and if I have chemistry.
Not if it's blind.
Well, skip the blind. Let's skip the blind. Skip the blind. I'm just saying, listen, but if I'm exclusively like, I'm getting dressed, we're getting that, or if it's like, yo, let's go mountain climbing, or let's go see this, let's go see that. So that means that my interest is piqued. Okay. That means that I'm interested to see if we're compatible and if we have chemistry. Mm-hmm. If not, it's okay.
Right.
But if so, all right, cool. Then let's keep moving forward and let's keep building.
So maybe that's the problem. We all don't look at dating on the same level.
That's what I would ask people. I have to ask them, like, what is dating?
What y'all went on, I would have considered that a date. Because I had to get prepared. I had to get mentally fit, even though I didn't know you. You know what I mean? I had to prepare, because with me, I always have to have a contingency plan. Like, what if I get there and she's pretty but she's shallow and I want out? So I need to have certain people to know.
He was a great guy.
They bail me out and stuff.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And my girlfriend and his friend were there. It was cool. It was just like, it was different.
So it wasn't a date. It was just y'all were just hanging out.
To me, it was just like a meet and greet. She's like, "Vanity, that was a date." I'm like,
meet and greet? What was it, speed dating?
It was a meet and greet.
So here's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like, because now that's probably some of the difference, right, in the social media world. You live in a world where people know each other a little bit quicker. So for you, you're like, I didn't know him well enough for that to be a date.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? When really a first date is, I don't really know you. So
and it probably, according to him, sounds like y'all was engaged based on what.
Now he took it too seriously, and that was kind of the problem. He took it way too deep.
Y'all were engaged.
Yeah, like my thing is like, I'm just
came in like
I'm just trying to see like, okay, like how do your eyes look? Like how do you deal with people? You know what I mean? How to see like I'm just watching. Yeah, I'm just watching him, and he's just talking about the gram and talking. I'm just like, well, let's talk about now, bro. You know?
So he was studying your gram.
And I can't just listen.
He's trying to get the prize.
But listen, I can't just meet G'Jurel, right, and be like, I like you, G'Jurel. You understand?
Right.
I have to like that develops.
You gotta get to know them already.
I can't just be like, oh, I like you, like you're cute. I've never been that way. Right. I'm not about the look. I've always been like about like how does he treat you?
Right.
Like.
I need to. Me too.
I need to feel it.
I need a lot.
So I don't know. I've never been.
But
like
don't you gain the substance throughout dating? Isn't it? Or I guess
the substance is what usually piques my interest. I can obviously, we all will peek and be like, oh, they look nice, but within like 15, 20 seconds, you say something fly out your damn mouth, and I'm like,
oh, they done talk themselves out of it.
Look, I'm like off that, real quick.
Definitely been there before.
You done talk yourself out of
something?
Definitely been there. Just as much as I talk myself into something, but I talk myself out.
How'd you talk yourself out of something?
Being tough.
I'm about to say himself.
Not tucking tuck. Tuck needs to tuck sometimes.
Like it might be something.
Tuck's ass.
It might be something where I'm like, yo, your eyelashes coming off. Like just like that. Like, damn nigga, you really had to say it like that? Like, yeah, I was like, I was like, hold on.
I wish you could catch
eyelash coming off. Or like, yo, your track.
Oh, but she want to know that. I feel like that's a lookout.
No, but tone is everything. Tone is everything.
Trying to pick chin hair off over it.
Yeah, tone is everything.
I'll be trying to pick chin hair off over it.
Yo, I'm laughing because my boy Terrence, I might have used him for that. He was like, yo, you hit him with my boy has a flat tire. I need to help him change it. Yeah, I have said petty shit like that to get out of a date.
What? Say what?
Like hit the flat tire.
Yeah, because I always keep a contingency plan when I'm dating somebody new or whatever. Like if it ain't going on, I need an out. My boy Tony would call 777. Be like, yo man, I need you to hit me with 777 in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
10 minutes.
I need you to be loud so you can hear. I turn my phone speaker up. Yo nigga, I need help. Yo, check please, I got to go.
Right.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna meet you at the pick.
Looking for the exit.
Oh hey Patrice.
Be like, yo, you saved me.
Chimed in a minute ago. I missed her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we bouncing back on both screens and shit. But yeah, I'm just dead serious. Shit. It happens. But to me,
why do you look so mean? I think
I'm with Vandy on that. I think I'm with like a date. It's when we take time to really get to know one another, and we talk and we communicate and we hang out, and it may not be any chemistry in the beginning, but it's something that gets built up because I've never been one to believe that chemistry was automatic. I I might be lusting for you. I might like the way Prina walk, but I don't think there's gonna be no longevity there.
Chemistry can't be automatic.
I'm gonna get my 100.
But
we are more careful as we get older too. As we get older, we tend to be more careful. You know what I mean? So we don't allow a lot of stuff to cloud our judgment and be all, jumping out the box. Now, I got more shit to lose, and my patience is like back there somewhere.
But one thing that I really miss about the whole thing, I miss the fun. Where people could just actually be, we can enjoy each other's company. You ain't gotta be so serious.
So much BS.
But people are serious about the wrong things.
I like to laugh. I don't always want to be the clown. I like a chick that can make me laugh or something, or you know what I mean. Like we can have a deep conversation. Because honestly, some of the best conversations I had wasn't even conversation. No, I just enjoyed her presence. We were just sitting there chilling, maybe looking at the stars.
I love that.
And shit, we just chilling. That might have been the best conversation. And me being
bullshit.
I like that whole extra connection and shit. You know what I mean? Where I leave the date and I'm thinking like, wow, she really hit me. She got me thinking about something.
Terrence, you're right about that. Terrence said people have way too many agendas nowadays. You're right about that. You just can't drop the bullshit and say, you know what, I'm gonna have a good time, see what this person is about. If it's great, cool, it's great. You know what I mean?
Well, I think people walk in with agendas now because they're they're afraid, and sometimes they're afraid to be themselves. People are afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to show themselves, afraid to be on that level of connection with somebody else. I also think that one of the things that makes it hard is people who have different perceptions of what a date is, different perceptions of what a relationship is, or how somebody's supposed to be treated, even in learning them, right? Like, we do live in a microwave era, which means I should know you now. No. I should take some time and get to know you,
Get
right?
to know
I mean, where you at?
Yeah, I agree. I want to see how you are in the movie theater, from movie theater to like skiing. I want to see
that's one
how
thing.
how are you?
Hold on, that's one thing I don't do. I don't take dates to the movie. If we at the movies, we already friends or we already a couple. I don't take you to the movies to get to know you because I'm trying to watch the movie. I'm that motherfucker be like, Prina, shut up. Damn, I'm trying to watch the movie.
I'll be like,
I'm watching it like you watch. I don't know what's gonna happen to Luke Skywalker.
I'll be like,
damn.
I'm always asking
Uber.
questions. I'm always asking questions.
Since you mentioned that, you know, because I side hustle with Uber sometimes. You know,
Here we go with this. Every time you speak, I'm like, what is he
I side
about?
hustle with Uber Yo, I be having times like, cause like when you're a driver for Uber, you see who's requesting a ride from you. You know what I mean? So I can see your name and see everything like that. But
what are you about to say?
it's been times I've been, you know, on the late night, you know, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. I see Giselle hits me up for a ride, and I pick it. You know, I go to the spot, and Giselle comes out the house. Hugs the guy's always shirtless and some gray sweatpants. I guess that's y'all thing or whatever. You know,
What's been y'all thing?
He hugs her.
Y'all.
I'm talking about the female. He hugs her, and she gets in the car, and then she's on the phone. Yeah, I just left his house. I'm on my way home. I'm like, damn, that nigga couldn't get you an Uber? You had to pay for your own Uber? 3 o'clock in the morning? Like, damn, I at least got you the Uber. Sent you home on your way.
Maybe for her, he was pretty but broke.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what she wanted.
Listen, they
She wanted to be hoping for your love between the hours of 11 and
Yeah, like that's all they. That might have been what she wanted.
But yo,
Like,
us Uber drivers, when we get together at the Limelight and everything, we get to talking, and they be like, yo, how many walks of shame you had? How many rides of shame you had? I be like, yo, man, I had like 3 rides of shame. Cause that's when they be in the car and they be like this, like they won't even look at it, they be on their phone. Bitch, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I need to be tired. I know you're tired. Like in the phone like this. Or they be on the phone like, yeah, I just left his house. I'm on my way home. Yeah, I had to get an Uber. Yeah. He didn't feel like driving. And stuff. I'm like, because he been driving all night.
goes on back to that. What we accept.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Because I'm telling you, being a rideshare driver, you hear and encounter some crazy shit. Because I done had people get in the car and treat me like taxi cab confessions and tell me like their whole life story. Like on some old, like, yo, I feel like I just click with you. Like maybe a song came on the radio and they like, oh, my Uber driver jamming and this and that. And they get to telling you shit and talking about, yeah, you think I should still fuck with him? We're about 15 minutes from your house. So just let me know where on the block to stop, because I don't want to get in them kind of conversation. Because it's one time I had chicks, you know, I'm picking them up from somebody's house, dropping them off. They be like, well, how can I get in touch with you? For what?
Call another Uber and
I mean, like, I'm like, yo, didn't I just pick you up from, you know, a Dixcapade? You know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm good.
I'll call you again. She went to direct dial. The Batcave number.
They get that Google Voice number. So when I don't want to hear from them, they be like, the subscriber you are calling is no longer able to receive calls.
you're gonna have a requested random Ubers. Like, hold up, nope, that's not it. No, not you. Keep going. Request another one.
He drove this time, last time.
Why his picture don't come up? Hey, God, let me run.
Oh my God.
But yeah, but I'm just saying though, it's just like my father raised me a little different, and kind of like how your husband was.
Yeah.
Ex
You gotta get yourself together.
Ooh. How your ex-husband was.
Yeah, that ex was hard.
Lindsay,
Yeah, wasn't it?
Lindsay.
Yo,
She said, I'm just
Don't be putting
studying
that
on
out
my
there.
ex.
I thought she was about to gut punch me like.
Put that out there now. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know, and honestly, being an older guy in his 40s, I feel for the younger generation, because a lot of stuff that we did, the women we came up with, these guys just don't know nothing about. Like,
They don't even want to know nothing about it.
That's the sad part. Like
they don't even want to.
Yeah.
I remember
when they are entitled. You should just be on that.
I remember making that mixtape and or paying attention to what song she liked and making her a custom tape for like we hung out and see oh yeah, she liked that song.
I remember getting a handwritten letter.
That was the verse. Oh yeah, you only get handwritten letters if you're in jail.
Yeah.
If he ain't locked up, you get a text.
Yeah.
Hey, GM. Not even good morning, GM.
Right.
Ooh.
And see, I'm not real partial to the texting and stuff like that. I adore it if that's something she likes, but I'm the type, I'm a clown. I'd rather, send you a video clip. Hey, what's up? Good morning. While I'm brushing my teeth, good morning. Like, I'm brushing my teeth. I wanted to holler at you first. Like, give her something funny. Like, because the phones do everything. How hard is it to send a video message so you can see me saying good morning?
Whereas your sentiment is beautiful. And I actually do agree with you. However, most people aren't that creative, unfortunately.
And not only that, it's much easier to send GM to a distribution list of 15 women rather than make a video, especially, and you know what's funny? I actually look for customization. If you're going to send me a text, my name better be in it.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. At one time, I did have the copy and paste. Good morning, and I would just type the name. And so when I was in my Petty Pablo mode, I was good with that.
This is real.
But what happened? It took somebody. But let me tell you why I stopped though.
I'm so sad.
Let me tell you why I stopped. It took somebody to throw that shit back in my face.
Oh yeah.
Because she texted me and was like, "Good morning, Tuck." Then she texted me again, "Good morning, Ben." I was like, "Oh, who the fuck Ben is? Who the fuck is Ben?"
No,
and I'm like, "Oh, okay. I know what you was doing."
I have a question. I'm so curious. Were you mad at the shot at your pride, or were you mad that you felt disposable?
I was mad. I felt disposable. I felt disposable. Like she was supposed to be disposable.
That's the odd part.
She was supposed to be disposable.
Right. But if she was disposable, why did you care that much? That's odd to me.
He's a Libra.
Because I was petty. Damn, you got to throw my zodiac out like that.
His sun sign.
Hello, Jesus. Yes.
On the main line.
Yes, she drives a car. Yeah, I'm gonna keep 4 flats.
You know what? I think the game stopped though when they finally lose that one that they wanted from the game. I don't give a damn. They can replace her and try to replace her, but when they lose that one that they wanted, they can never get.
Or that's when the game starts.
Yes, that's true.
That's when the game starts.
But at some point they gonna have to face them damn selves and realize this shit's because I did this.
But now, and this is where I think
I agree.
some things happen in life as learning episodes, right? That time frame, and no one ever wants to believe it in the moment, right? Sometimes you're in the process of learning a lesson. You're not even being your best self. You're not growing to be your final self. This ain't even going to be you for the next 5 years. This is going to be you for this time frame, this 6 months, this 2 year period, whatever it is. This is where you're at now, learning the lesson for your next 5. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it does. It does, but yeah, like you said, it was because I was just as disposable to her as she was to me. Mm-hmm. But then after a moment, I had to laugh about it. I was like, damn. I said, dang, you slipped up, homie. And then we laughed about it, but it is what it is.
You kept fucking. All right, then.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It wasn't a deal breaker.
Nah.
Okay.
But it provided me what, as my boy Tony Tips would say, it provided me with an out before feelings got involved. She gave me an out, just like I gave her one before, like if things got too serious or whatever. Then she'd be like, "Oh, now you was choking them other bitches though, remember?" Like, oh, yeah. Okay, so then that was the out and shit. But yeah, like me personally, when I'm seeing somebody and I don't like the whole good morning text, I want to hear your voice or see your voice. These phones do everything. I mean, they got apps. You can do crazy stuff. Like one chick, it was her birthday. You had one app where you could lip sync the songs. So I had Stevie Wonder on there, and I was doing the WAP and shit like that. And she thought it was the best thing in the world. I ain't had to buy it yet, but she thought it was the best thing in the world. You know?
That was your gift?
Yeah.
That wasn't quite as good as the picnic, my nigga. I want you to think that was picnic level.
But the picnic was epic because how that got started was that I had told her we were going to go out.
Okay.
And I had every intention on taking her out, but I had one of them situations where the way my checking account works, the funds ain't hit.
They should tell half baked.
Yeah. So I had like $25.
And you got creative.
So I was like,
you got creative.
And I couldn't welch out on. I think I welched out on the date before, and I was running out of excuses.
Welch is great.
So I was like, all right. So where I stay is a Goodwill across the street. So I went to the Goodwill and was like, let me find a wicker basket, and this and that, Found one. It happened to be like 15 cents. I'm on it. So I'm like, okay. She doesn't eat pork and I'm like that. So, let me go to, Save a Lot. ShopRite and get one of them little fruit baskets. But I also got the Tupperware, the cheap Tupperware they had there, because I didn't want to bring the fruit basket there like that. I wanted to take it out and put it in, like, I made some effort. Shit like that. So that's about another $6. Then, she was drinking, she drank wine, but she drank that whole dessert wine, that real sweet shit. So I was like, you know what, let me get some of that yellowtail. But what I wanted to do, I soaked the bottle so I could take the label off, because you can't really take alcohol to a park. So took the label off, and I would just tell, which is grape juice or whatever and shit. So put all that together. Then I had my favorite blanket. I had to throw that in the washer real quick because I had episode.
Okay, stop. Just keep it moving.
So long story short, I was able to come under budget and have like $8 left.
And still get some.
No.
Actually, our conversation and everything was so good that night. It wasn't even about the physical.
That's
it was
so
just
good.
like
I love those.
it was.
I know.
It was cool. Now, granted,
I love that.
the physical was my objective, but once we got talking, it was like, you know what? Let me push that shit. I'm cool.
My best
Let's
date
talk.
was Wawa sandwich and Rita's water ice.
I believe
it. A scenic ride through Lancaster.
That's so nice. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, that
Love
was
that.
the best.
I
enjoyed that the most.
I love that.
Sandwich.
Yeah, it was a
scenic ride through.
I'm so simple. I'm so damn simple. It's not.
That's
Now,
so
I do
good.
miss that though, because I haven't had anybody I dated in a while that wanted to take like a nice ride, or I'd be like, yo, just put your playlist on.
I know.
And let's just ride.
I love those kind of.
Yeah.
No, I do those all the time though. Like,
But I can't fuck with your playlist because let me tell you real quick about Vanity and Nicole.
Shut up.
It's probably all over the place. I can tell.
It's all over the place, but I come from a place of great sentiments and
Vanity has
values.
a great playlist,
Thank
but Vanity
you.
will cut songs off when you get into them. She one of them bad DJs. You be sitting there and be like, "What's my shit?" Here go Vanity. Go blue. Damn, that was on the chorus.
Right.
Damn.
It was halfway through.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was lit. Last time in the car, it was lit.
Yo, Vanity be like, you be good, and you be like, damn. Or then somebody call, hey, what's up? I'm driving. Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, let me call you back. Then she skipped the whole song, go on another song. Like, I thought we was gonna get back to the song and shit. I'm gonna get back into my WAP and shit. Like, dang. And Vanity will go from mid-tempo, up-tempo, trap, slow song, trap, slow song.
So you going from Migos to Anita Baker? I don't know what I'm trying to do. Right, giving you the best that I got, but she bad and bougie. I see what we're doing.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun.
It'd be hard, man.
It was fun.
It'd be hard, yeah.
It was raining hard too. Gina fell asleep. My girlfriend fell asleep. Oh, it was so funny.
So I want to give y'all a laugh. We're talking about relationships. So
Yes.
I actually stalked my son's Facebook page.
Oh.
My adult child. I didn't figure. Wait, let me make sure ain't nobody on here that's friends with him.
It's on the screen.
Okay, I think I might be safe.
How old is he?
So he'll be 26 this year.
Oh my god.
So he says.
He's 26 though.
So he said, if we talk, I stalk.
Wow.
If we talk, I stalk.
That's so true. That is so true though.
I'll give it
That's so true.
I'm gonna be all in your stuff, like, and it's the eyes, and it's the detective with the glass.
Yes.
That's the emoji.
That's so true. That is so true.
And you know what's funny? I thought about that. I laughed. I was like, my son's so ratchet. I was like, wait a minute. I'll be all in people's cousins, grandmoms, neighbors, dog walkers, nephews. Oh, how the hell did I get down there?
But social media is a black hole of information if you
It
if you
is.
get
Now, one
curious
thing
or if
I
you nosy,
don't,
whatever.
I do not act on it, and that's probably why I should not even bother looking. However, the old fraud investigator,
Yeah.
I can't. I gotta drill down. That's what we do. We find out some shit. We vet out.
See, she was fraud because I was in the 180-day collection, so I wasn't deep like her. You know, they go deep.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they go deep.
We went deep.
They fuck around. The third cousin get a call.
I'm
calling your grandma. I know she didn't have her ear turned up. I don't care. I'm calling her back. What's that damn TTD machine? I'm about to get one. I need to talk to her.
I hate those relay calls.
Yeah.
Where you be like, where is your grandson? Hold on. Customer said, I don't know.
They crazy cracking up, yo.
Messy.
Yo, my son is stupid. Then he said, wait, here's the last one. He says, you never, this is kind of deep. This is a little deep. He says, you never really know them until you gotta know them. So you never really know them until you have to tell them no.
Oh,
I said, that's mature.
That's so
Did that
true.
come out of my kid's mouth?
Yes.
Look at you, raised them right. You raised them right.
That was very mature.
That's a fundamental value, right?
Yes.
But yo, bottom line, dating in Delaware, falling in love in Delaware, and being with somebody in Delaware is no different than anywhere else.
That
That is very true.
Delaware is small, and I think
Recycle.
before you complain
Recycle.
about Delaware, you gotta look at yourself. Because one thing I'll tell you, my life got better when I was honest with the only thing in the equation that wasn't changing from my failed relationships was me. So I need to look at what I was or was not doing. Thank you, G'Jurel.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I don't even care about all me. It ain't on me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Type. I'm sitting quietly in my corner. Carry on with your final thought. You was in the mood, man. Go ahead, Carrie.
Slow clap.
Pay no attention to the non-verbals.
Yeah, but like, and a lot of time when I post stuff and be like, people be like, "Oh, you posting some inspirational stuff?" Honestly, a lot of that shit be for me. It be like reminders for me. Like I might be going through something, and I might have to post it up there to reinforce. You know, like, yo, this is what this is.
Self-check.
That's what I do.
I self-check a lot.
Right.
I do. I self-check a lot.
Because sometimes I can forget the message that I'm giving it.
Right.
You know, I totally forget it. But if I put it there and people, you know how you got the notification, people like it, and you keep looking at it, you be like, you know what? I'm not the only one feel this way. So, you know, it's my own doses of act right.
Absolutely.
Because I like to tell people as much as I have some exes that I don't get along with, I have to really say it's not their fault. You know, it's really, I don't look at anything as a fault. It's like, well, it was an opportunity that I did not exploit to take the time to get to know them better.
Okay.
Because any failed relationship that I look at that I have is that I did not take enough time to know them better. Because once I got to know them while we had the title, I didn't like them. And they probably didn't like me. So that's why it went south. It's not like saying, oh, she was a bad girl or she was a bitch. It's like, nah, I just didn't take the time to know her. We agreed on the physical, or, you know, it might be me agreeing on her physical, or, you know, her.
Y'all came to terms, whether y'all came to terms.
And then when we got together,
owning your shit, you know what I mean? Owning your part and what you did to screw it up and fixing it. I think, because I admit, like, I wanted out of my marriage, but I had to think back. All right, did I do everything that I could do to save? First of all, do you want to save it? Second of all, did I do everything, you know, that I could possibly do? Did I really, really play my part to save that relationship? So once you own your own bullshit, which is a huge issue, own your shit. Yeah, that's
and it makes a lot of shit better.
And then the stuff that you know, like repeatedly, it's happened. Like, all right, this is my goddamn fault. This is some shit I'm doing because 3-4 times, that's some crap that I did or did not do, and I should have did something different.
And I will share this also, G'Jurel. I have learned not to hold people accountable for shit that happened in the past. Like about giving out the flowers. Like I haven't given out any flowers recently.
Exactly.
But that's not because I didn't want to. It's just I haven't dated anybody to that level where I'm like, well, let me send her some roses or something like that. But I'm not going to hold that against them because the one bitch didn't want the flowers or whatever.
She got these. I can tell you still.
Yeah. I just use that. That's the words. I was ready to say her name, and I don't want to say her name.
No.
But
Tuck just lives in a super. His Tuck's level of petty is just special. Yeah. Okay, I need the world to know his level of petty is immaculate. That attack.
Yeah, I am pretty Prince Paul and shit. You know? But I do, look forward to dating again and having fun. Like I really miss the fun part. Like I miss the fun and the spontaneity.
Yes.
I like it to be like, yo, Prina, what you doing today? I don't know what you got planned. Come on, let's get dressed. Let's go to New York and let's park the car and let's walk Manhattan.
Yep.
And let's just do some sights and stuff. Let's take some crazy ass pictures and just hang out, and then we'll find a place to eat when we get up there. It's Manhattan.
Yeah,
we'll find a place.
I crave for that. Oh my god! And it's Sunday night. It's kind of cold. It would be so nice to kind of do something, Yeah. But anyway, I was talking about today.
Well, love without responsibility just is freer, right? Like just to not have that thing, whatever is limiting, right? To have no walls in that moment and just kind of move. It just feels free.
Yep.
But that's that unconditional love. That's that frequency where you're operating at your highest self.
And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in unconditional love. I don't. I believe that outside of parent love, I don't know if I believe any other love is or maybe love can sustain, but unconditional love doesn't sustain a relationship. There's conditions to this shit.
There's definitely a condition
because you need boundaries. You gotta know because you don't want to sacrifice yourself because you were okay not having a boundary in loving, because that's when people love too hard.
You get too much of yourself,
right?
But then shame on you for doing that. But then shame on you. But my thing is that doesn't stop you from loving unconditionally. That doesn't stop that. I don't have to be with you to love you unconditionally. I don't have to. Those are conditions that we're programmed to believe, that I have to be with you in order to love you. No, you are love.
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's not what I mean. I think you dictate your own conditions, right?
You do.
So your terms and conditions. So if you love somebody, right, and you had these terms and you have these conditions, but now they're not okay with really succumbing to those conditions. They're a habitual line stepper. They always crossing. Now all of a sudden that love is starting to be more conditional, right? Because my love came with these terms and conditions. Who you are, who you're growing into, because people grow, right? So when people grow and they change, they become different people. If who you're becoming is now crossing my line and you're not respecting my boundaries, at that point I now have to say, all right, this love it has some conditions. That the person who I love isn't there no more. So we gotta reevaluate some things.
Okay.
We do not love Tuck's petty, Brandon. No, we don't.
I do love
intervention.
it. I really do.
He needs some intervention. That's what Tuck.
Yo, my petty be mad creative though. You gotta admit, my petty be mad creative. Like I've done some shit. I'm like, yo, you fucked up for that.
But see, that's because you can come up with creative dates and creative gifts, and you'll love creatively. The same way you'll love creatively, the same way your petty will be just as creative. Unfortunately, for those who have to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
And love without responsibility feels free. I do like that too. I do like it. However, I think it's dangerous.
Feels free. I didn't say it's always free.
Yeah, I think it's love without responsibility. I think in most cases somebody is going to expect something.
It all depends on communications and boundaries. That's true. That's where
we don't communicate.
No,
so that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue, man. That's the issue.
Yeah, but like I said, I just like to get back to the fun, spontaneity, and shit. Nice. I like to do shit like a lot of motherfuckers don't know. I know how to ice skate.
Love it.
You know how to ice skate?
Yeah, I know how to ice skate. Roller skate. I would love to be like, yo, let's go ice skating. But then, like I said, sometimes my choices come without further knowledge of the person. They be like, oh, that's corny. I don't want to do that. But like, okay, now let me put this bitch on the checklist. And she on the side and stuff. I ain't fucking with you and shit. You know what I mean?
Mutual interests matter, right? It's very important to have mutual interests. You gotta like the same things.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind going out drinking and turning up, but like sometimes it's just I might just want a quiet evening. I might want to go listen to a nice jazz band, or we might want to take that car ride. I ain't got to be out, pouring up drinks and trying to breathe through my nose, so I don't, Earl or nothing like that. I want something different, but what I'm saying, people like what they like.
People do, and they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Fun fact in my mind: if somebody is superficial, then they should be superficial. If that's what they want to be, if that's what they're okay with, let them be great. Let them be. If they want the trophy, then there's a trophy who wants to be had. Okay, every pot has a top. Just looking for how you want to cook.
My problem is though when I make it known, and I don't have a lot of patience. Like I said, I usually make stuff known like right away. If I make it known that I'm really not interested in that superficial shit. Like seriously, and you keep going and you keep coming for me, stop it.
That's different.
You know what I mean?
That's different.
You can't have what you want, but you not be what I want. That just doesn't.
I can
make sense
explain
to
that
me.
though, because to me, I think again, men and women both do this thing where if they're interested, then especially if they're interested in the fantasy of it, then in their mind they can change your opinion or change you, right? So if that's what you like, well, I can convince you of something otherwise, right? Or I know that's what you said, but I'm different. Right, so people put themselves as thinking like people think they're way more special than they are sometimes. So because of that, it's like nah, you are who you are. Live in that truth and keep it pushing. I don't need to.
Right.
Dang. Deidre said she's gonna post that, G'Jurel, about love without responsibility feels free.
Feels free.
Remember the word feels.
But I mean,
It ain't. It just feels that way.
Vanity, how about you? Any final thoughts?
I just feel like just be yourself. Be yourself. Love yourself. And
stop minding your social media trying to match your
people just be
your soul.
yourself.
Be
I don't know.
transparent. Like
Just
I
be
honestly,
yourself,
I
like,
appreciate the
yeah.
dude that is just
And accept yourself.
good within his own skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
That
think
would
I
be
do
so nice to me,
kind
man.
of a good job at not like how you not completely going after somebody that's like nowhere near on my, you know what I mean? I think I do a good job there. So I'm not going to end up with like a total ass in front of me.
Yeah.
But like be yourself. I'm good with it. Either, we'll walk away with an experience like, all right, you know what? We wanted to see if we could do this, go out on a date. We did. We'll do it again or we probably won't do it again. And, be mature and be clear. Be clear with your damn words. Like we can talk. We can talk, but we can't communicate. Does that make sense?
Happens every
Yes.
day.
Be clear with your words.
So
And
we could
your
talk.
intent.
We could talk, but don't communicate.
Yeah, we talk, but we don't communicate.
Wow. Okay. Shit.
Be on your grown man. I like that, Will. Yes, be on your grown man.
That's my homie Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill. Now Dollar Bill know me from like you know me, but Dollar Bill knows my petty is deep. Matter of fact, you know my petty's deep too.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Cause my petty go company wide deep.
Oh, you said company wide.
Yeah, cause there's been a couple motherfuckers been like, yo, don't fuck with him, cause that nigga will pull some shit out the past and have you all messed up.
But that's because, okay, to be clear, Tuck, we're being honest. You keep a contingency.
Yeah.
So that's why your petty is deep because he keeps contingencies and he'll watch the log.
And I am definitely guilty of like dating and having contingency plans for dating and friendships.
He'll have a whole exit strategy.
Yeah.
Hold up, making a note of that. I'm just making a note of this for later so I can use it. Like that's listen, Tuck me. He's keeping the catalog. The look at her. This is amazing.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, Lindsay, that's a lot.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a lot, but
it's also got him out of trouble before. I can't lie. It has saved his ass before.
That's a lot of energy.
It is a lot of energy. I ain't got it. But
Only Tuck can do Tuck. Like only Tuck can do that.
Only Tuck can do Tuck.
Because
It works for him.
yeah.
Listen, this has saved his ass before. I was.
Well, y'all, I have to admit though, this has probably been the most entertaining and longest running podcast live that we have done, and we've had a lot of people join us and a lot of people comment and everything. Sorry we didn't get all to your comments, but the energy that was going on here was just crazy. I mean, we got Vanity and then G'Jurel and then Prina, and it's like. These three people know me, so I couldn't slide no bullshit under the radar. Cause they be like, not in my house, and everything.
Not so fair.
He talking about the red minivan. See, there you go, Dollar Bill. Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and end this podcast. The Dollar Bill he about to pull up some stuff from the '80s, and because he knows my petty.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
DJ Tuck.
Yeah, because I have done some shit. I have done some shit, y'all. Like
Those are the skeletons are buried.
I have definitely set motherfuckers up. Like.
Wait.
Some people have actually said like, "Yo,
Let's
you
turn
be
the
doing
podcast
something."
Turn it past. Yeah, podcast.
You got the statute of limitations on
Turn
it?
it off.
You got the statute of limitations on it?
I need another shot, please.
But nah,
Nah, I need statutes of limitations. That's my man. What you talking about? What year was that? Okay, is it all clear?
But I appreciate everybody joining on. Me and Prina love y'all for this, and thank you for sticking with us and BOREDinDE. And we promise to always just continue getting better and stuff. And you could definitely expect to see G'Jurel and Vanity here. And if you haven't already, I've been flashing their social media information under the bottom. So
I'm on the podcast as well. Are you open?
And yeah, go ahead. Matter of fact, let me put you back on the screen so you can plug your podcast.
Oh yes. Are you open? Yep. That's pretty much the podcast Facebook page.
And I'll get him to link it into the comments later on for y'all and everything. And Vanity, she's doing great things with Black Girl Magic DE. So definitely follow that social media page. And then, Prina, she's a fucking marketing genius, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the guru in your own backyard you didn't even know you had.
The plug without the cord.
The plug without the cord.
I love that.
I don't know what it means.
I love
that.
I love that.
You don't know how dope that is. That is dope.
Y'all can explain it to me after these cameras go off because I have no idea.
Plug without the cord. But everybody, again, thank you for joining us. We're about to go ahead and wrap this up. Love, peace, and hair grease. And I'm going to go ahead and tell them my shitty comeback stories without y'all being involved.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all.